What's happening, bowlers? Chris Beans here with Bowlers Rant, bringing you one new update from the USBC approved ball list from Storm Bowling. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on those notifications. All right, we're gonna jump right into this. There are a few updates on the USBC approved ball list, but there's one in particular that I really like. So this is dated 8/23, just a few days ago. It's from Storm Bowling. And it is the Storm Fate. So this is the new Belmo ball, the world's worst kept secret. I've covered this earlier in the year. Belmo was teasing this when he was covering the Infinite Physics, and it was just sitting there on the rack, right? That's not an accident. But we now have the ball picture, and we're going to take a look at it now. Bang. There it is, the Storm Fate. This is the new Belmo ball. And at least from the U.S. perspective, going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably the 6th U.S. release, because there were other variations of Belmo balls out there in the overseas market. But this would be the 6th worldwide release. And there's a lot going on in this picture. So the first thing I'm noticing is that it's a pearl, right? So let's just break this down, right? And I'm also noticing this, infinity, icon here that the word fate is kind of come into. So that's really interesting. I don't know if this is a play on yin and yang. I don't know if this is infinity, but that's what it kind of looks like to me. This figure 8 going on here. I also noticing the window, graphic here on the right, and that's usually indicative of a polished ball. And that normally before the USBC malarkey of banning balls, right? That usually meant 1500 grit polish. But if someone's to ask me this is going to be polished, I'm going to go with a 99% no. It's probably going to be 4K fast. Now, I've seen various 4K fast balls, and sometimes they come back looking 1,000. Sometimes they look sheen. I think it just depends on the batch and what they're calling 4K fast. But yet to be seen. But you know what else is going on here? This ball reminds me of another ball that we've seen before, and that is the Wolverine, right? So if we do a close-up there, here's the Wolverine, and here's the Storm Fate. They're very similar looking, right? Almost the same kind of color. Now, the Wolverine graphics much better. But again, there's that window graphic I was talking about, and you can see all this pearl. And so, this Storm Fate looks a lot like a Wolverine. Makes you wonder, a lot of people have been chatting with me on the side saying that they're wondering if the Fate is just a repackaged Wolverine. I'm willing to bet not, and mainly because it's probably going to be a very different core, right? The Wolverine core, this was their Lacerate 2.0 core, right? Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't like to see this core, but this is specific to 900 Global technology. Not really, I think, going to be a thing for the Storm Fate. So, jury's out. Now, the other thing that's going on with the Fate is we have to think about this is a Belmo ball, and there is something in common with all Belmo balls, right? If you go back, the Timeless, right? You had the Drive, you had the ProMotion, you had the Trend, and the Trend 2. The one thing, if you notice, that does not change, even though the pictures change, the cover changes, the surface changes, this weight block section here in the specs does not change, right? That's because every single Belmo ball has been a symmetrical ball. So, when I think of the Fate, will this be the first ball to be asymmetric? If I was a betting man, the answer is no. Now, I don't always get these things right. And I think if Belmo was to come out with an asymmetric ball, like on number 7, that would be like my pie in the sky world. Number 7, the first Belmo asymmetric ball. It'll break the internet. It will absolutely print dollar bills. It can probably fix, the world's deficit problems. It's going to sell like hotcakes. But before we get there, we got to get to number 6, and that's going to be the Fate, and that's this ball. And I'm willing to bet this is a symmetrical pearl, right? This is going to be something that's going to shape up, probably long, and just wind up and just snap in the back, and probably be a little less over-under than the Trend. I found a lot of people tell me that the original Trend, this was a pearl, it was symmetrical, but it was R2S, and sometimes it would go really long and miss the break point, right? And the Trend 2, fixed a lot of that, but is a lot stronger, and it was a lot earlier. So, will the Fate split the difference? Who knows? But I can guarantee you one thing. The minute we see this thing get announced, it's going to probably be the talk of the town, and everybody else should get out of the way of that announcement, right? Don't be trying to release a ball if the Fate's coming out that same time. It's just going to get ran over because these balls tend to sell like hotcakes, right? And you got symmetrical pearl. It's probably going to smell good. It's probably going to roll good. It's got the right name, and it's got the right person behind it, Belmo ball. That is going to be a thing. So, the only big question in my mind is this going to be anything related to the same motion that we typically see with the Wolverine? Jury, of course, will be out. But this was, once again, approved August 23rd, 2022. Woof. That's a lot of good information there. So, that's what we got for today. We do have the picture where, I like to call this the road to the Storm Fate. Used to do that with the USBC. I'm sorry, with the Bowl Expo. But yeah, we're on the road to that, and I'm willing to bet it's going to be a Q4 release. And when it does get announced, it is going to be exciting. So if anybody knows anything else about this ball, hit me up. Let me know. I'd love to continue the conversation with you. As always, more updates to come. And until then, bowl well.